Using email is still relevant in the 2020s. Email can be used to communicate and send messages, photos and documents to anyone, anywhere in the world. This tutorial will focus on using Gmail, and we'll show you how to set your account up, and the basics of how to use email.
Hello everyone, in this tutorial we're going to look at setting up and using email, and we're going to be using Google's version of email, which is called Gmail. It's easy to set up. You will need a few things. To get started, you'll need some personal details. You'll need to create what's called an email address, and this needs to be unique to yourself. You will also need to create a password, and then this can be used to log into your email account anywhere on any computer, anywhere in the world. So let's get started. First of all, whichever browser you're using, whether it be Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, take your pointer down to the taskbar and left click once onto it. Now we want to type in Gmail, G-M-A-I-L, and press the enter key. And once you get your search results in Google or whichever search engine you're using, click on the first link, Gmail Google. And now we want to create an account. Here we need to create an account. We're going to have to put some personal details in. You can make these up if you wanted to, and for the purpose of this tutorial we're going to use a made-up name. So where the cursor's flashing, you can start typing your first name. We're going to use Fred, and then over here in last name we're going to use Smith. So put the pointer into the box, left click into it, and the cursor will start flashing. And click into the username. This is where we need to create an email address or username, and you can put anything you want here, but it does need to be unique to you. You can use letters, numbers and full stops if you want to, and then at the very end there's going to be a suffix called @gmail.com. This is the little @ sign here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Fred Smith UK 2021. And then once we've created a username, we can move down to create a password. And at this point, when you click into password, it should tell you whether this username is accepted or not. If when you click into password, this comes up as red text, such as this, like this means that your username is already taken by someone else, and you will have to embellish it by adding something to make it more unique. We were using Fred Smith UK 2021 @gmail.com. So that's going to be our email address. And then we're going to create a password, and at this point I'm just going to use a password. And then you need to confirm the password in this box here, so click into it and you need to type the password out again. And this is just to make sure that you haven't made any mistakes with the typing. These dots appear as a security measure so no one else can see what you're typing. If you want to show the password just to see if you've made any mistakes, you can click here and the password will be revealed temporarily. And when you're satisfied with your username and password, you can click on to next. So here Google will want some more details before we can finish with the setup. It asks us if you want to put a phone number in. It does say that this is optional, but I do recommend that you use either a phone number or a recovery email address. If at any point in the future you have problems logging into your account, then Google will prompt you with a security question or a security number. They will contact you with recovery details. We have to put in a date of birth and a gender. You can make the date of birth up here. It's not that important to put your actual date of birth in, but that's up to you. And you can choose whether to save the password onto your computer browser here. I'm going to click on Never. So it's now asking us to choose personalization settings. Just to keep things simple, use the Express option and click on Next. Now we need to confirm these settings and cookies, so you can just scroll down the page using your scroll wheel on your mouse, and when you get to the bottom, click on Confirm. And again, privacy and terms, scroll down to the bottom and click on I agree. So we've now created our account. Again, we have another window here. Let's continue with smart features. Click Next. And we've now finished off setting up our Google Gmail account. We now arrived at our inbox, which we'll take a look at shortly, but in the meantime just make sure that you've written down your email address and your password. Keep it somewhere safe because you'll need those details every time you log into your account on any computer you use, wherever you are. If you're using a public computer and you finish with your emails, to log out, go to the top right hand corner, click on the circle and then left click on sign out. You can then remove an account from a public computer. Click on this sign here, remove from the computer, and then you're safe to move away from any public computer knowing your account details are no longer on that computer. So we've got our Gmail email account set up, and now we can look at the absolute basics of sending and replying to emails. So whenever you want to log into your Gmail account, the very first time you want to log back into your Gmail account, we need to go to our browser. In this case we're using Google Chrome. So point it down to your browser. You may be using Microsoft Edge. Left click once and type in Gmail. Enter. And up here we can see there's a sign in button here, or you can click on the Gmail link over here. So whenever you want to sign in, you're going to need two bits of information, your email address and your password. So let's type in our email address. And as we can see, we've used this email address on this computer and we can see it highlighted just below the email box here. And if that's the case, we can put the pointer onto it, left click once onto it, and it will fill it in automatically for us. If not, you can just feel free to spell it out. Then click on next. And now we need to put in our password. Click on next. At some point in the future you can add some details here to protect your account by putting in a phone number or an extra email address, but for now we're just going to click on confirm. At this point, if you wanted to create a desktop icon for your Gmail emails so that Gmail appears on your desktop or down on the test bar down here, we can simply do this with Google Chrome by going to the three dots in the top right hand corner, left click onto it, go down to More Tools. When the submenu appears, click on Create Shortcut. Chrome will ask us if we want to create a shortcut for Gmail, and we click on Create. And now if I just minimize this window for a second, we see we've got a Gmail icon over here. We can simply double click onto this every time we log onto our computer to access our emails. And what we can also do is we can left click onto it and hold the left click button down, drag it over to the taskbar down here, and we can have it down here as well. For ease of access, anything on the taskbar only requires one left click. So we've logged into our account and we're now presented with the inbox, and at first glance this may look complicated, so we're going to try and break it down. This is our main inbox here. Inbox is like an office in tray. Whenever emails arrive into your inbox, they'll be shown in this area down here, and they're shown in order as well. The information in your inbox is organised into three columns. Over on the right hand column over here we've got the time. So as we can see, we've got 10:16, 10:13, 10:12, 10:10, going back to the 26th of May, which was a few days ago. This represents the time that emails arrived. So that's the right hand column. If we go over here to the left hand column, we can see some names over here. We've got The Guardian, we've got MSE Money Tips, which is Martin Lewis's Money Tips website. We've got an email from Google over here as well. This left hand column over here tells us who the email has arrived from. And then lastly we've got this middle column here, which is called the subject field. And this information here gives us a little bit of information about what the email is about. So three columns of information every email has got. We've got the time on the right hand side, we've got the sender on the left hand side, and in the middle we've got the subject field, which is a few words relating to what the email is about. So with that in mind, we can now see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 emails here, and they're arranged into time order. The most recent email is at the top here at 10:16, and the oldest one is going back to the 26th of May down here. Every time a new email arrives, by default it should appear at the very top of this list. As time goes on, you will accumulate more and more emails, and the list will get longer and longer, and your inbox will carry 50 emails in the first page. So let's take a look at one of our emails. We're going to go down to Silver Surfers here, and the subject field says "Hi Fred." This is just a preview of an email, a little bit like looking at the front of an envelope. We actually need to open the envelope to reveal the letter inside, and as with emails, we can click onto the subject field here and this will reveal the email inside. So left click once in the subject field, anywhere on this line here. So this now opens up the email so we can reveal the contents inside. And this is the email message here. "Hi Fred, how's it going? Are we still on for that drink tonight?" So it's very simple to reply to a message. Always scroll down to the bottom of the email and look for the reply button down here. At the bottom of every email you will see a reply button. Put the pointer onto reply, left click once. A new box will open up now. The cursor's flashing and this means that we can just simply start typing our reply. And when you've typed your email, you can click on the send button and it tells us down here the message has been sent and you have now replied to that email. And once you've finished replying, we can go back to our inbox, and to do that, take the pointer up to the left hand column over here and where it says inbox over here, left click once, and this takes us back to our inbox, which is your default starting point and ending point for sending and receiving emails. Let's have a look at another email. MSC Money Tips here. If you want to reveal the contents of the email, put the pointer onto the subject field and left click once. And I'm using the scroll wheel on my mouse to scroll down to read the email, but you can also put the pointer onto the scroll bar on the right hand side, left click and hold it down, and then you should be able to move the email up and down. This is a marketing email from Martin Lewis's Money Tips, which in the UK, which is quite a popular subscription email service to set up, to sign up to, and it gives us money saving tips for everything from credit cards to broadband deals to loans and consumer advice generally. And in this email, whenever you see blue writing such as this here, it's a link to a website. We could click onto these links if we wanted to, but for now we're just going to go back to the inbox. Let's have a look at one last email. This email here from William, and there's a photo attached here as well, so let's left click onto the subject field and see what's inside the email. So we've opened the email up. Let's have a quick look. I've sent you the photo you asked for, see the attached photo, and here we've got a photograph with the email because you can send and receive photographs and documents with your emails. If I put the pointer onto the photograph and left click onto it, this shows us the photograph that's been sent with the email. And if we want to go back to the email, we can left click on the back arrow up here. That will close this screen down, take us back to the email. And again, if you wanted to reply to this person, scroll down to the bottom of the email, click on the reply button, and then in the box down the bottom the cursor's flashing and you can start typing your reply. And when you're ready to send your email, left click on send. That message has been sent, and then you can go back to your inbox, clicking on the inbox link at the top left hand corner. There's a basic guide on replying to emails that you've received in your inbox. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at sending an email from scratch to someone who's not currently in your inbox. We're going to compose an email from scratch. So take your pointer up to the compose button over here and left click once. A new message screen opens up here. We just want to make it a bit bigger so we can work with it better, and if we just put the pointer on the double headed arrow here, this will make the email full screen. So to compose an email from scratch, we're going to need 3 bits of information. We need to have an email address for the person that you're sending the email to. We need to put something into the subject field so that when they receive the email, something will appear in the subject field so they can see at a glance a brief description of what your email is about. And then in this field down here, this is where you compose your email, and you can write as little or as much as you want down here. And as we said previously, you can attach photographs and documents as well. So let's create a quick email. So we've got the email address of the person that you're writing to. In the subject field, a few words regarding the contents of the email. And then if we put the pointer into the main body of the message here and left click once, we put the cursor into the body of the message here, and that now allows us to type our message. So we've composed our email. If you wanted to attach a photograph, you can do so by clicking on the little safety pin down here, and this then allows us to attach a photograph or a document, and clicking on the safety pin opens up the file explorer of our computer, and if we've got photographs and documents we want to send and attach with this email, we can click into the documents section of the computer or the pictures section, and we can select an image to send, click on open, and that has now attached the picture to the email, and when we click on send it will send this message plus the photograph to the recipient. So that's how to compose an email from scratch. Let's just really quickly recap on that. Go to the compose button over here and left click once. Then you need to fill in 3 fields of information. Who the email's to, which is an email address. If you don't know the person's email address, you need to ask them. Subject field is a few words regarding the subject of your email. And then left click into the main body of the message and type the message that you want to send. And when you've done that, you can attach a photograph or document by clicking on the safety pin down the bottom. You can also change the style of the text by making the text bold, adding italics, underlining text here as well. You can change the fonts by clicking on fonts over here, and selecting a different font. And you can add emojis here as well. And when you finish typing your message, click on send and your message will be sent. And that concludes this lesson on replying to emails and composing emails from scratch.